Hey, great day, everyone. What? It is your noontime UX News Mag. It's coming to life. So everybody that's in the newspaper uh, gets the, we do a live interview to let you know all about who it is, what they're doing. And today is no different. We are bringing you Stacie Teal-Locust, who is in the Baltimore area. She's a broker, and she wants you to know all about what's going on in the real estate market in the Baltimore area. Good afternoon, fresh eyes. I see you. Good morning, Strong Ronnie. I think it's kind of afternoon. I think it is. It's afternoon. But we're going to talk to Stacie Teal-Locust of the real estate store in Baltimore, and she's going to talk all things real estate. And why she definitely supported Urban Expressions News Mag, and why it's important to understand the market of all real estate, not just Philadelphia but Baltimore as well. Waiting for Stacie to come on right now. Hey Nicole, what's going on? What is going on? I see you. You said this will. Not sure what you mean by this will. Help you understand what's going on in the real estate market. Waiting for Stacie right now. Where is my email? If you haven't gotten Urban Expressions News Mag, you can go to urbanexpressions.com and check it out. This is Will. Oh, hey, what's going on? My bad. Got you. Boom. But if you haven't seen Urban Expressions News Mag, there is an amazing article with Stacie in there, all about real estate. And some people have a fear of real estate or getting into or buying a home. She breaks it down and helps you to understand. Let me make sure she is in the building. She's never gone live on Instagram, so this will be her first time. So definitely waiting for her to come on. Mr. Make It Rain, how are you? How is everything with you? I see what you're talking about. I see that you fought the case, you beat the case, and I see what you're doing. I don't understand 100% about it, but Mr. Make It Rain, if you ever want to let us know all about it, I'm here to listen. I am Lola Love. Hello. Urban Expressions alumni in the building. So we're waiting for Stacie Teal-Locust. She is the owner of the real estate store in Maryland, and here she is. What she's got going on? Here she comes. Here she comes. Hello. You did it.
Hello.
You did it.
I figured it out,
I
right?
said, I was like, I'm like, hoping she gets it. It's not too bad, right? It's not too bad. You got it.
I'm using my phone. I'm not using my
Yeah, for Instagram, for the lives, you do have to use your phone. It is better to use your phone, not the computer, to exit to go live. So you are correct in that. You got it. You all set up?
Okay. Yep.
All right. We'll make sure you got a moment. So, everybody, introducing to you, this is Stacie Teal-Locust, the owner of the real estate store in Maryland, aka the Baltimore area, aka so Stacie, you have been in real estate for well over 20 years, right? So originally,
yes.
What was your desire and what was your thoughts behind actually getting into real estate?
Well, to be honest with you, real estate was just the perfect time. I really wanted to I had aspirations to be an attorney. And I was at Morgan State University at the time, my sophomore year. And when I finally decided, okay, what is the pathway to become an attorney? I thought it was after the 4 years of undergrad, but then there's 3 additional years for law school, the LSAT, and then the bar exam, right? And I was thinking, I was young, it just wasn't worth all that time. And then when my mom passed away, we didn't have to, but we decided, me and my sister, to sell our personal property, my mother's house. And the real estate agent there, I was just overwhelmed at how much money she made on that transaction. And I was like, you really didn't do too much, but that just made me fall in love with it. So I went and got my real estate license shortly thereafter. And then maybe after 4 years, still 3 years or so, I got my broker's license.
So that's
for
those, and me too. I was thinking about it. And I know you told me you're a broker, but what is the difference between being a real estate agent and a broker?
Okay, so technically the agent is the broker, and the broker is the one and the only one that supervises salespeople. So the consumer at large always says, I'm calling my realtor or I'm calling my agent. Really, the average person who has a real estate license, and I say average, those affiliating to, meaning those who don't have a broker's license, are legally salespeople. They're not agents. The real estate agent is the broker where their license is held. So being a broker is the highest license a practitioner can hold in the state of Maryland, or pretty much anywhere in the country. So the aspiration is to be a broker because you do have supervision over the salespeople under you. And being a real estate salesperson, agent, broker, it all requires, we have continuing ed and a lot of training to make sure, because the field is so lucrative, it's easy for someone to step close to the line or blur the lines a little bit, but we must protect the consumer.
Amazing. So, all right, blurring the lines. That was a good one. I'm gonna go into that a little bit later with the blurring the lines. So you're a real estate broker. You own your own real estate store, basically the place where people can come if they want to buy a home. You mentioned being licensed in the Maryland area. Have you ever gotten licensed in anywhere else, or had the desire to be licensed anywhere else?
Well, yeah, I have a lot of family in Pittsburgh, so I had considered getting my license in Pennsylvania. Also, DC. It's not a different license that you would get, but DC is a totally different market. All in the DMV is very attractive, but what happens is, what I find, there's enough for everyone, right? So being an agent or salesperson is more than just being accessible to other markets if you're not an expert. Like farmland is not my thing, because we're dealing with agriculture, well water, all these other things that come into play, where in urban setting, I'm more familiar with that. In Baltimore City, we deal with ground rent a lot, right? So in other jurisdictions, they may not have that. Land is very particular, just like the human body. Everybody is different. Every property is different. So many salespeople or agents or brokers, we stay in certain areas of familiarity. Of course, understand, the house sells itself. The opportunity sells itself, be it ever land, industrial, commercial, residential. It pretty much sells itself because the buyer, they understand what their needs are, right? But our job, in more particular, similar to law, is to navigate that contract or the offer. And that's where the expertise comes into play. If a salesperson enters an environment, say, that's bordering some environmental land, or not environment, industrial land, and there's a residential piece, there's certain disclosures that buyer might have, or being close to farmland with runoff water and all these other things. If you're not an expert in that jurisdiction, you're going to miss some of the nuances that you should present to your client. So to answer your questions, I thought about it, but really didn't give it a lot of time in trying to move my jurisdiction, because I'm not familiar with these other areas. I don't travel them. I don't stay, with my head to the ground, knowing the new laws and nuances. So, because I can be held accountable for not disclosing what I should know, right? So I've stayed primarily in the state of Maryland because I'm really comfortable here. I know the market here. And I say to people, quite often, I only know 3 things. Prayerfully, God will give me more information, but I know real estate. I know my son, and I know that there is a God. I know these things. And outside of that, you know, if you're talking about cooking, hey, give me a YouTube. I don't know how to cook or fix a car or, you know, some of those other things. You know, I'm working on that. I got books on how to do
You
that.
do know
But I do know
real
real
estate.
estate.
So you mentioned that at one
Yeah.
point you wanted to be a lawyer. Are you still contemplating the whole law thing?
Yes, I did go back and I started my first year and I had to take a break. I took a break because it was the most, it was a hard thing for me to do. Only because I waited. I should have stayed the course when the opportunity was there when I was young. But going back at 50 years old, when my son is just entering college himself, where he needed access to resources, and I had to choose between my dreams and my desires, or getting my son to a perfect position where he can be a force to be reckoned with, you know? So I took some time off to give him the support that he needed, because he, all through high school, he afforded me the luxury to go back to finish my undergrad, you know? And so when it was his time, I said, okay, mom's going to tap out. You go ahead and get that in. But I still have my law books right here with me and right by my desk. You know what I mean? So I still stay connected. It's still a dream, and it's still attainable. You know,
It's
it's
all
still
still
there for me.
attainable, but you know, honestly, right about now, you're doing it out of passion and drive because you actually have a
Right.
lucrative real estate practice. So when it comes to real estate, one thing about you is you really care about the people. You care enough to be a part of Urban Expressions News Mag. When we're in Philadelphia, you're in Maryland, to actually educate people on the fact that you could actually think about buying properties in Maryland. Tell me about that decision and how that helps people in the Philadelphia or beyond area.
Well, in my business, and I've been well over 30 years now in this business, and certain things are certain, right? People understand what real estate is. They understand it as, but many don't understand it as a tool, right? And when we talk of real estate, many people believe that the gatekeeper, right, the one that stops them, or that stops them from participating, is huge, right? We'll watch TikTok about how to create an LLC, how to, you know, do everything, you know, on the social media. It's all this how-to stuff, but it still stops people because they believe, or maybe they have a fear of that first rejection. They have an idea of what their credit looks like. They have an idea of what is needed. And they also believe that they are not good enough to participate, whatever that credit score is. Or sometimes they'll say, not now. But what I do know for sure is that 90% of the people can pay a mortgage and can afford one. What they're doing is that they're paying someone else's mortgage. So the issue is not, can I afford a mortgage? Of course, if you're paying rent over $1,400 a month, you can afford a mortgage, right? But you're paying it for someone else. So my passion here is to present an opportunity where someone can have a very casual and comfortable conversation about that entry point, about approaching that gatekeeper, looking at the credit, having a professional look at it, get wise wisdom on what you need, and don't be afraid of the rejection, because there's never a no. Lenders do not say no. They say not now. They say not now. They don't say no. They don't say never. They say not now. And what that means is that when the lender says, okay, not now, they'll also say this credit score, this income, this whatever it is, right? Everyone has that. But it's up to you to say, one, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to do this so I can do this in 6 months. I can do this in 1 year, right? Right after my lease is over, I'm ready for home ownership. Or you walk away from the experience altogether and leave the stuff on your credit forever, ever. Like one of the things that blew my mind, and I can run off, I met a gentleman. I mean, he was strapping, big, handsome dude. He's a salesperson person, I think, entrepreneur. He sells a lot of T-shirts and things. Big guy here in Baltimore, you know, at every fair. And he's like, Stacie, I want to buy a house. And I'm like, that's dope. And he says, well, I got some stuff on my credit. I said, well, all right, let's look at it and see. So it was about $1,500 worth of stuff. And it was a Comcast bill. It was, I think, a BG&E, which is a utility bill from about 8 years ago. And I say, well, why don't you pay it? Well, it's not mine. I said, okay, why don't you pay it? Well, I don't know who used my credit. And, you know, so remember, we're talking, this happened years ago, right? He can't get a car in his name. He can't get a mortgage. But that $1,500 is what's stopping him access to $150,000, $250,000. Who cares who put it on there? Who cares? The pain point is that because it's there, you can't participate. So if he makes $1,500 a day in selling T-shirts, pay it off, right? Just pay it and move on with your life and be blessed, you know, or negotiate it off, you know, but whatever it takes, you're worth it. You know, I think L'Oreal said it best with the makeup line, you know, you're really worth it. Even if your mom, like I've had stories where mothers have put stuff in children's names, and when they come of age, all of this stuff is on their credit. Fix it, you know, recognize it. You know, sometimes you went to a furniture store and you really did buy $4,000 worth of furniture, right? And you really did not pay for it. Honesty, pay for the furniture, and then get up and live, participate, make money, use your name to make money. Don't look for a boo to put everything in her name. And then when she gets mad at you, all you got is your stuff in the trash bag, right? Everything is in boo's name. The car's in boo's name. You know, that the rent is in boo's name. You know, all the credit cards are in boo's name. But what about you? Where's your value and your worth if boo disappears, right? So there is so much reward in being able to use your name to buy your stuff, you know, and you can reap the rewards from your own efforts, right? So for me, I would say even advocacy, you know, just to inspire people to face the fear of knowing. Just know it. And then once you know it, what are you going to do about it, right? Are you going to just let me just keep on making this money? Are you going to let your neighbors move in and buy property and you just sit there and look for a quick fix? There is no quick fix. There is none. Anyone advertising a quick fix lies. Credit repair, I think, in my opinion, I think it's a waste of money. The federal government, the Federal Trade Commission, they have resources that can show you how to fix your credit for free. You do not have to pay someone to write an offer and compromise letter. And technically, when you do work with a credit counseling service, the way it appears on your credit report is like a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, a reconsolidation of debt. A Chapter 7 is a wipe out, you know, get rid of everything. But a Chapter 13 is a restructuring of debt. Now, I'm no lender. I'm going to keep my real estate agent hat on, you know, broker hat. But this is what I've learned and experienced. So it's best, really, that you do it opposed to hiring a third party to negotiate your debt. And it's almost like the energy stays with you. If you really know it's yours, don't look for ways to rob the system. You know, pay it. It may delay your process, but you will be rewarded.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm one of the ones who've had to in the past file Chapter 13, but and thought at that point, coming from a high 8, I had a high 8, and then living in the you know, life started lifing and ended up having to file Chapter 13. But one thing I tell everybody 100% is having a home has saved me. Being an entrepreneur and owning the home has saved me several times for those times when I went down and out, or them times when entrepreneurship gets hard. Because I owned the home, there was negotiations that were made saying, all right, here, take this, put it on the back end. And especially during the time that we were in COVID, when the pandemic hit, we were saved because the government allowed us to, I guess, they stopped all our loans and put it on the back end. And so it just felt it's a little
Mm-hmm.
safer process. And I know it's hard, especially for me as an entrepreneur, not necessarily, I don't have a steady necessarily income coming in. But my credit is a little just shady right now. And I was considering actually going to one of those agencies to get it unshady. I'm gonna just call it that, shady. The
Right.
credit is shady, so I was considering that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I like the fact that there are agencies out there, or you're saying working with the government to actually make it better. So you're coming from the broker side, the agent side, but a lot of people use properties to come up, make they find it, flip it, or things like that. Or do you ever work with that side? Are you a person who is an investor to make more money off of properties? Do you do anything like that?
Yes. So as a broker, and I'm actually a practicing broker. Like, I'm not just sitting at the desk offering supervision. I am actually working. So real estate is a feast to famine type of business, right? You have a pipeline, it might dry up, similar to what you just said about life happening. I'm still an entrepreneur, right? So the best thing for me with this real estate license, I can do a lot of things. I can work with a lot of different types of clients. So 90% of my business, believe it or not, is investor based, where people come to, one, learn how to access for low to moderately no money, right? How to invest, get involved in it, and then how to sell. And there's multiple exit strategies. So you can buy and keep, right? And then use it as like a secondary home. You can buy and keep for residential rentals, or you can buy and sell, similar, like you said, flipping, right? All of that comes with a calculator of what's best for that person. Some people buy crap and sell crap, right? Like, I'll buy a house for $1,500, sell it for $10,000. That's $8,500 profit in a matter of six months, right? Some people take a big chunk, a big quarter, right? I like slow nickels. Some people like fast quarters. A fast quarter could be, I like a slow nickel. A fast quarter works like this. You buy a house for 20 or 40, put another 50 in it, sell it for 200, right? For me, because I always ask people, well, how are you on the inside? How does your mind work? To me, that middle portion dealing with contractors is so uncertain, right? If you're not working with a team that you have built relationship with, the carpenter, the plumber, the electrical, the HVAC, roofer, all of these people are already on the team, it might run smoother. But for me, a contractor will give you a bid up front, but he really doesn't know until he starts working, and that bid changes. Time then becomes money, because you got to get the property back on the market at a certain time, because our industry slows down around Thanksgiving, and it doesn't come back alive until after the new year, right? So the hot period is right now, entering into the spring. Everyone tries to have all of their properties ready to go in the spring and the summer, primarily because the teachers are out, the kids are home during the summer, and every parent who buys a house gets the input from their kids, right? So they want to bring the kids out. But you know, investing, to me, I find less challenging, because investors in most cases have cash. I don't have to deal with financing contingencies unless they're using hard money. So, and hard money is, you're not going to a bank, you're going to a group, and they're called hard money lenders, and they give you money to renovate properties or fix them for flip, but it's called hard money because it's very expensive. They don't give you 100% financing. They give you about 60 to 70% of what you need to finish the product, and you have to bring 30 to 40% of your own capital to make the deal work. And that's called an invest. If you have an invested interest in the transaction, then it's less risk. But with hard money, they only like certain neighborhoods that are already performing. So, and that would be hard to find a property that's in a great neighborhood that's for cheap, right? So you have to have a level of expertise to navigate all of that. You have to know neighborhoods and communities. You got to know projections. You got to know what planning and zoning has got for the jurisdiction that you're in. And that's where my expertise comes in. And that's why I stay kind of local in these areas. But even for the first time home buyer, you know, I can flip the script and deal with them. I know what their needs are. I still try to stay connected with the first timers because that keeps me up to date with the industry, grants, down payment, education. The first timers, you know, they are the most dear because those are the ones who have faced the fear of the gatekeeper. Those are the ones who are so emotionally invested, and they see this opportunity as a dream, as they say, the American dream. So they're glossed over, you know, they're naive, they're looking for someone to hold their hand. I feel so needed and valued in those transactions. The investors call me, Stacie, what you got on the west side? All right, send me the list. All right, I'm gonna wire you $50,000. Let's get it going, you know, or something like that. But I don't know what that noise was, but I'm here at the office. Yeah, but it's a really exciting experience, and not every deal goes to the table. We've had heartache. I've had people, even in this electronic age, first-time home buyers present fake pay stubs, fake taxes. And I have a class to kind of prepare people because, you know, people are people. Some people believe that, you know, I'll do a rental history verification and I'll tell my cousin to answer the phone to verify the rent. You know, so it gets creative. You still have to be on guard and, you know, be ready for the okey on both sides. But I love what I do. And I am most joyed when a first-time home buyer, even if they're buying 100,000, it doesn't have to be their forever home, just the first little property, right? I am most rewarded with that transaction because they stand as testimony to other friends and family that she did it. You know, oh, you did it? And they go home with the story and they invite others to participate in that type of joy. If not participate in a joyous way, here comes jealousy, right? And jealousy can be manipulated in a lot of different ways. But whatever jealousy does, it makes that person want to try, you know? So I really want people to understand that renting is not, I'm not going to say it's bad, but it gets better with home ownership. It gets better. Better on a legacy tip. And when I mean with that, you can sell them and make huge profit. I don't care where it is. Real estate always appreciates, right? You'll always sell it for, well, it depends on how you negotiate it. So that always is a big word. But the majority of the time, whatever you buy, if you hold it for 3 years, it'll be worth more than what you bought it for. And we can say that about nothing. The car, time you drive it off the lot, it depreciates. The outfit that you buy, even your Louis Vuitton bag, you know, hey, you would think that holds value, and it does, but it doesn't hold the value that when you bought it, right? So if you're thinking about money as a tool, and if you think about money as a weapon, right? That's a wonderful way to weaponize your money. And when I say using money as a weapon, it protects you from a lot of things. Having access to money, it's better than, to me, having a pit bull at the front door. You know, who's kidding who? At the end of the day, birds got to swim, fish got to eat. Sometimes my clients say, well, Stacie, you know, what are your fees? And I tell them my fees, and I try to keep it fair with what the market holds. But sometimes I got to say that my son got used to eating. We can't do certain things for free. If I don't feed him, he'll die.
Hey, let's say that again. Can't do things for free. You know, that's the whole thing. You know, a lot of times we want the hookup and we want something, but you know, it takes money to make money, and that is the truest fact ever.
Yeah, and I think if everyone who was just interested, no matter what jurisdiction they're in, be it at Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Maryland, DC, Virginia, even California, there's always an opportunity for conversation. And you can call, your audience can definitely call a practitioner in that area and ask them to take you to the steps. You can say clearly, I'm not ready to buy right now, but I'd like to have a conversation with maybe one of your preferred lenders. I'd like to know what I would need to do in the next 12 months to get myself ready for home ownership. And what that will do, it will reward you in two ways. One, you'll know who you are. And a lot of the self-help on social media is all about self-awareness, self-love, self-care. Self-care does not necessarily have to be your physical, mental self, right? Self-care can be, who am I in my financial self, right? What do I need to do to prepare myself to create a portfolio? Let's use these words that other cultures use, like portfolio, you know, or what do my finances, what are the health of my finances? I was watching this TV show. It's a wonderful program. I forget the name of it, but it's on Netflix right now, about money. And it's not money from the perspective of savings and credit, but money and its value to existence. Like if you, so I rambled a little bit. Let me go back. So a conversation is free. A phone call is free. You can make 3 phone calls and find out. You can get your credit pulled for free. You can have a mortgage broker look at your credit and give you an exact to-do list for free. And if they're very kind to you in that experience, you've now added a member to your team. So when you're ready, you can go right back to that person a year from now, 6 months from now, and they can be rewarded with your business, right? You've already built a level of trust. You got to let down the wall, let down and decode everything that generational hate thrusted upon you, that you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you'll never get it. These are the forces against us. This is the color of your skin. This is where you from. You know, this is what you did, right? Let's decode all of that, and then permission yourself. Give yourself permission to try. And if you don't want to try in front of everybody, do it in secret. Call them and whisper. Look here, this is what it is. Give them whatever information they ask for, your social security number, your pay stubs, your bank statements. Give it to them. Find out who you are. I challenge you, find out. And once you find out, then ask the question, what do I need to do to move to this area? And they will tell you line by line.
Oh.
Easy. Okay. Boom. Then do it.
The thing is, take action. You said this right. Do it. Make sure do it. I'm not going to keep you long. I have one more question. My question is, when it comes to Philadelphia Philadelphia and the Baltimore, you've seen success where people who actually come from Philadelphia. I've heard many stories. There was a guy who was he was putting a project together, and he was going around and asking everybody if they wanted to invest. We're in Philadelphia, wanted to invest in a project in the Baltimore area. Talk about some of the successes you've seen where people who actually live in Philadelphia or beyond, Philadelphia beyond, have found success in the Baltimore area.
Yes. Well, one of our link points, Shelly, as we recently discovered, a woman that was in your master class or taught in one of your master classes happened to be one of my clients here. And it was like a small world. You never knew. But this one woman I met, well, let me tell you this. Real estate is not about a property. It's about potential. Those who are investors, right? So wherever there is potential, there is value. You don't have to have a certain driver's license or ID to participate in other markets, right? There was a time where Atlanta was emerging, right? Everyone was going to Atlanta, Georgia, right? And they were going there in droves, and it became national news, right? Even parts of North Carolina and South Carolina, you might hear the things that I can get a 7-bedroom house for $250. My son, who's about to graduate next year, he just told me, Mom, I'm moving to Houston. And I'm like, Houston? We got to talk about that, because I'm going to take him there when it's 200 degrees. Hopefully he'll change his mind, because I live in Baltimore, right? I don't want my baby that far away. But I went on YouTube, and in the Houston market, they are like $250 for over 4,000 square feet, right? And it's an emerging market. So I'm definitely going to go to Houston and see what they have. But the good thing about on the East Coast, Baltimore is that untapped gem. And what we are dealing with is, one, we're somewhat stigmatized from the TV show The Wire, right? And the headlines about crime, right? But one thing that is phenomenal about Baltimore, similar to what you have in Philadelphia, is that we have a dynamic mix of historical homes, those 3-story brick row homes, something that you might find in Harlem, over 4,000 square feet. And because Baltimore has somewhat of a stigma, we're now creating an environment where we want to change the narrative. We're changing the narrative with beautiful homes, but we're renovating them, right? So what was blight is now very romantic in a sense. Investors are coming in and they're creating a community. And that's where you can come in at very low prices. The acquisition is very modest, but you still can create a beautiful home that outspends Philly. And the marketing plan goes like this, especially for DC. A lot of my clients come from DC because we're 20 minutes away, 20 to 35 minutes away from Washington. The same home in DC for $500,000 sells here for 1.25, 125,000. So if someone would just commute 45 minutes or take the train that'll get them there in 15 minutes, right? That's a wonderful purchase, right? So then you hear, well, okay, but it's not DC, right? But if you're building your home and then there's another developer 2 blocks down, he's redoing his, then you see someone behind you, they're doing yours. Within a year, now you're close to 300,000 because values change as renovation comes. So people are buying potential. I still get this 4,000 square feet monster house. I still bought it at 120 or 140, but now in 2 years, I'm tripled that. So let's just say I just want to cash out of Baltimore and say, okay, I'll sell my 350, right? And you will sell it because it's not a blighted house. It's now been renovated. Everything on the block is worth it. And you made $200,000 in 2 years. Nothing gives that type of a return. Not even the stock market, right? And the level of risk is minimal. So we deal with investors who make $100,000 on a flip, over time, but then you're re-entering the market at a higher price point too. So I suggest buy 2 or 3, and it works for a lot of people. And I could give you testimony all day. And I'm gonna be honest, I've been working so hard making these deals happen that I didn't buy anything for myself. I was like, what the hell? I'm up here looking for everybody else and I'm hungry. So we're in tax sale season now. And we got a lot of investors starting with the tax sale where you can, this is our tax sale, let's just to blow you through it. That was the wrong side of the paper. But we have properties here under $1,000.
A property for under $1,000. I'll take it.
Yeah. Now, these are tax sale, municipal liens. So this is just a municipal lien list that I've made so far of the ones I'm interested in. These are properties under $1,500. Now, even in Philadelphia, you all have municipal liens as well. And I'm sure you've heard people talk about that. And that's a slow nickel opportunity where you pay the taxes, you still have to wait for redemption from the owner occupied person. They can redeem it, but you still receive about 18% on your money. So it's you might want to call the local governing body there in Philly and get their tax sale list. I mean, you don't have to have a lot of money to begin. You just have to have a lot of understanding on how it works. Don't be a fool. Create a team. In places where you are weak, hire someone on the potential of a closing. And realtors, we work like this. We don't get paid until closing. So there's no levels of loss for the consumer. You're not paying an upfront premium to get me to engage in a vision, right? The only thing that I can say to the practitioner is that I don't want to serve you, right? But I'm not going to charge you up front, just to get us there, right? So when you win, the reward is celebrated for all parties.
Wow, good stuff. Listen, that was an education class. I'm sitting there like, man, let me get myself together. I need a property. I'm hoping you buying, now that you know that, wait a minute, you got to buy your own property. So you're going to buy your property, and one of these days I'm going to buy my property. But yes, the return, it allowed me to see. I mean, I love media, but I don't know if it returns in that major way like that. But
yeah. But let me give you a disclaimer that return is based on a lot of different things. That's not every transaction. But again, if that's what you want to do, have that conversation with the realtor. She knows where that value of equity lies. They probably can refer you to contractors. We have that information. We have it.
Amazing. Willie said, how do I get a copy of that report? Do you mean the report that's in the Baltimore area? Because the report out here in Philadelphia, I think, what's that? I mean, you got to find somebody out here in Philly. But if you want to go,
No. Okay, so the tax sale list, this is the one that I was holding was in Baltimore. For the Baltimore one, you go down to where you pay your water bill on Light Street, I believe that is. But you could call 396-3100, 410-396-3100, that, and ask for the Baltimore tax sale office. The book is
what?
only $10, right? Yeah, it's $10 for the book. And you know, I organize it really good. If you get an email, if you have an email address, or well, of course you do, you can go to thedailyrecord.com, thedailyrecord.com. Right now, they have the 2023 whole tax sale list that's available for Baltimore City. Be mindful that that list is early, so a lot of people haven't paid their taxes. The auction is in June, and you have to register for the auction by May 5th. So if people are interested in buying municipal liens in Baltimore City, please go to downtown to get your assessor's list, or go to thedailyrecord.com and get the whole list. You can also link Shelly and give her your email, and I can send you everything I have. But regardless of whatever jurisdiction you are in, call the city operator and ask them where I can find the municipal tax sale list. Every jurisdiction has it, everywhere, and that's from land to commercial property and everything. For a first-time investor, I think that that is the greatest thing to do because the risk is low. If you only have $2,000 to spend, that's a great way to do it. You spend $2,000. Now, it's a long process to get to foreclosure. It's about 8 months, right? Eight months to 12 months. But you've gotten a property for $1,500 or so, right? And once you get it, sell it immediately. You know, sell it for $10,000, sell it for $7,000, make profit. Unless you want to keep it and renovate it, right? Me personally, like I said, I don't like working with contractors, you know. But that was on the low end. You can do $10,000 if that was your goal, right? And look on the list. All the prices are there. What you're buying is the lien, and a lien from the city or jurisdiction is always in first position before a mortgage lien, right? So I can send you resources on that too, but it's always free information online. Whatever jurisdiction you are in, Google it. Tax sale Virginia, tax sale Richmond, you know, tax sale, I don't know, you know, property tax sale, and I'm sure you can get more information online. But also talk to a realtor, you know, a salesperson. Many times brokers don't answer the phone because, you know, we're bougie, but you might want to talk to a realtor, you know, of your choice, and just ask them, do they know anything, especially someone who specializes in investment property. They would know, or should know, or keep calling until you find someone that's an expert in it, that they can navigate you through it. But yeah, it's a lot of ways, and I welcome conversation. But again, I'm only licensed in the state of Maryland. I wanted to link with you, Shelly, one, because I wanted to support what you do. I wanted to honor you as the consummate entrepreneur. I've been a friend of yours for, I would say, 4 years, and I just can't tell you how overjoyed I am with what you're doing, with the resources that you have. And I just wanted to partner with that and celebrate you as a sister, and let you know that you are loved, and I speak greatness over you. So no hate, all love, right? And I love the magazine.
Thank you so much, Stacie. Listen, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting. And you have, I mean, I wish that I would have had this conversation last week. And you know, as far as taking that $1,000, $2,000 from people who get their taxes, that is just like really, this conversation is educational. So, Stacie, we'll be starting some major things soon, so you want to get on her list. You want to be a part of it. You want to learn this stuff. You want to learn all about real estate from those that do. Don't mess with a coach who ain't never did it. So if you're looking for a coach, you're looking for more. Stacie will be doing that in the future. Some coaching, some and teaching, and she actually dropped some major gems today. So I mean, I'm telling you, you gotta get coaching. You gotta get mentoring. Don't go at this alone, because going at it alone, you got to figure things out. Why not get a coach? Why not get a mentor? So make sure you go. What's your website so they can go to your website?
It's BaltimoreRealEstateStore.com. That's BaltimoreRealEstateStore.com. That's the website. And then again, let me just say to your audience, the information that I have and many other practitioners, we really take a pledge that our information is free to you. Ask the question, ask for a consultation. It's free. You know, I want this gate to be removed. I want more people to participate. You know, it's enough for you to have your dream come true and for us to have our dream. It is literally a win-win. Please engage. You know, a closed mouth does not get fed. Don't blame it on anybody else. This time next year, you should be better than you are today. And I charge you with all earnesty and with all love.
She said, let's get it. Let's get it. Yes.
Yes. I don't want to hear it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. He said, what happens if you pay the taxes to the owner? Do they have a chance to get the property back? I believe you mentioned something about that they could.
Yes. Yes. So to answer that question, it's really about a 1-year process, and I'm gonna go through all of it. So the city is only, or the municipality, the jurisdiction is only interested in getting their money, which is the amount of the lien on the tax sale that the consumer, your client who just asked, would pay. So let's just say, for instance, the property is here. The city says, okay, there's $1,000 tax bill that hasn't been paid. Your client says, okay, I'll pay the taxes, right? So the city then says, owner, so-and-so just paid $1,000 for your taxes. If you want to get your house back, you have to pay $1,000 plus 18%, because that's, you know, he spent his money, so you got to pay him 18%. So if the seller says, well, I don't have $1,000 and 18%, the city says, well, okay, well, then this guy can start going to foreclosure. So this guy now, being that he's not an attorney, he has to hire an attorney to begin the foreclosure proceedings, right? That's $1,500 on average to have the attorney. So your client paid $1,000 for the lien and $1,500 for the attorney. Now the attorney sends this person a letter. We're about to foreclose on you. What you need to redeem your property is $1,000 plus 18% plus the $1,500, right? Still, now this is about at month 7, right? So then the attorney goes before the judge. Another notice goes to the original owner. They say you got $1,000, 1,800 plus 15% plus court costs, filing fees, and all of this stuff. So now you owe $3,000 to redeem. This person can now come to the courthouse and pay the $3,000 and stop everything, even that far down the line. But you haven't lost anything. You get your $1,000 back, your $1,500 back, your 18% back. But what normally happens is if he didn't have $1,000, he surely ain't got $3,000. So, but there's a chance that he did whatever he had to do and came up with the money to save it, right? And sometimes if there's an outstanding mortgage on the property, the mortgage company will come in at that final hour and say, wait a minute, I'm gonna pay it. Because even if it's a mortgage, that lien is in first position. They would lose the collateral of the house because, you know, the house is the collateral for the loan, right? Well, let's just say the property doesn't have a lien on it, a mortgage lien, right? And he doesn't pay the $1,000. I was moving outside the screen, sorry. And the judge drops the gavel and says sold for $3,500. So you've bought that property with the $1,000, the $1,500 for the attorney fees, and those other little junk court cost fees. And the bad part is that you've never gotten on the inside to see the house. They don't allow you to go in. So it's kind of a sight unseen. But anything that you can get under $5,000, you know, it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Especially if someone's living in there, you know. So, but that's like an overview. But if you go on the website of whatever that's what Baltimore story is. I don't know how it might be in Philly, but they will give you the steps per your jurisdiction as you participate in it. It's step by step by step. And you want to look at the opinions from on the owner occupant side, because that's how they can thwart your attempt to buy it through foreclosure, through municipal tax sale liens. And I'm sure you've heard of that. You could buy a house through tax liens. Well, it's
You know
real.
what?
It's true.
It's real.
It
It's
really
true. But I
happens.
think the amount just made it. I think that saying $1,000 to $2,000 just made it more. I don't know, clearer, or it made it more possible. It made it feel like it's possible, like $1,000. You know, not that $1,000 is it's a little easier. It's easier to get as opposed to when you're thinking about $100,000 house, or you know what I mean. Somebody could get a house in a year for maybe possibly at the most $5,000, and you know, I don't know. It just seemed more obtainable at this particular point.
And let me say you, let me cut you off here. And this is, I heard this and it blew my mind. And I don't see color. I really don't. But I heard that Asians, they spend and their money stays in their community for maybe, I don't know, 2 months. White people, their money, Caucasian, stays maybe 4 months, right? African Americans, our money stays in our community maybe hours, right? And with that said, the African American community has money, right? I literally took my son shopping when he came back from school on his break. I had to pay $210 for a pair of shoes. He was at Downtown Locker Room. The t-shirt was $60, right? The sweat jogger things, the Nike joggers were like another $90. Draws and all of that stuff, that whole shopping experience was about $350, right? And I'm not the only mother who spends that kind of money on their children, right? Especially if your child is at least 5'10", you know what they wear, that's what it costs. So let's just say you buy your child 3 outfits, right? That's $1,000 that you spend on 3 outfits, right? If you took that same $1,000 and invested it, or maybe just didn't buy those 3, right? Because you're going to buy those 3 outfits every 3 months. Birthday coming, when I see these proms, they got balloons, all kind of stuff. You would think it's a wedding, all of this money. And then let me even make it even grim. The money that we spend in celebrating someone coming out of jail, a come home party. You're going to spend almost $1,000 on a baby reveal party, right? Stuff that people will eat. You'll have your Instagram moment, but it's over. You know what I mean? Move on. We all have at least $2,000 that we throw out the window. We don't do nothing with it. And I guarantee you, as a self-check, pull your bank statements for the last 3 months and see what you paid in fast food. Just in fast food. I did it. It blew my mind. I went to Dunkin' Donuts every morning and spent $15 on a frozen coffee, this stuff here, and a muffin. This is why my tail's so fat, right? $15 a morning. Do that by 30 days, by 6 months of doing that. And then we got to throw in a pack of cigarettes because that's $12. So that's a $20 morning, right? Every day. So we are spending money that we don't even see. And if you look on your bank statements, I challenge you, go through your bank statements line by line. That's my challenge. And then spank your own self. See how much you've given to Dunkin' Donuts. See how much you've given to McDonald's. See how much you've given to Michael's. This is stuff that you didn't even really need. And if you took that $1,000 and bought a piece of property, that's growing wealth. That's giving back to you. So there is a method that is attracting you away from being blessed. Maybe not buy the $250 shoes today. Tell your child or whomever, your team, look, we're going to do something different. We're going to change the narrative. Even if it's in secret, these are the steps that I'm going to take to change and flip the script. And if you don't do it, don't complain, because I done told you.
They done told you. Drop the mic. Gems dropped. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, my goodness. You talk about education. I can't wait. I can't wait till when we release it to the world, when the education comes, because you really just edified everybody. I mean, like if you didn't get it, man, I promise you're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. Thank you so much, Stacie, for supporting Urban Expressions Newsmax. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for, you said you bougie, brokers are bougie. Thank you for answering my call.
Yeah,
Thank you for
girl.
answering my call. Your newspapers, your news mag will be it's in the mail. It should be there today or
Thank you.
tomorrow. One of these days, depending on the mail. But USPS, shout out to USPS. But it'll be there today or tomorrow. But thank you so much. Thank you for your willingness to support me and
My
also
pleasure.
educate people. And I think you have a spirit of education. You have a spirit of coaching. You have this is what you do. You can help someone in just one conversation. And I'm sure you. He said thank you. Willie said thank you. So I want to make sure you saw that. He
Oh,
said
thank you,
thank you.
Will.
He
Hmm.
said yes. He was definitely into it. So me too. I did it. I guess he did in the morning. I guess he did the same thing you did. Went to get the cup of coffee in the morning. He said, "Thank you, sis." So yeah, see, look at you helping people. And yes, we do need to look at what we spend. And I'm too going. I don't spend money every morning, but I will definitely go out to a restaurant often every week. He go often
Hmm.
every week. Whoop, often every week. But so yeah, it's no excuses out here. So thank you so much, Stacie. And make sure to drop your website one more time. One more time.
One more time. Baltimore Real Estate Store.com. Phonetically. Baltimore. Baltimore.
Phonetically. She
Realestatestore.com.
gave you the phonetics. See, that's the teacher. That's the teacher in her. That's the
Yep.
coach in her. And I'm glad I was your first live. How was it? Was it cool?
It was really cool. I was trying to log in from my computer at first, and I was like, "Oh no, I hear her talking, but I don't have no image." So then I said, "Let me use the phone." So
Yes,
there it
we are
was.
here.
I didn't know,
We'll have to do
but
this
it's dope. I
again.
love
I
it.
think we're here to educate the people as we're getting closer to the launching of all the things that's coming. Ooh, ooh. All
Yes,
right,
yes,
thank you,
yes.
Stacie. I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who is here. I hope that you took some notes. I hope you understand how possible it is. Like I promise you, I didn't even know any of this. So I'm sitting there like, yo, I didn't know it was that possible. You know how many times I've had $1,000 just to, like, all right, I'm gonna do something else with this. I'm gonna do this with that. So I'm grateful for the knowledge. Thank you so much, and I wish you an amazing day, an amazing day, an amazing day.
Thank
All
you,
right.
love.
See you later. Bye, everybody. Thank you so
All
much for
right.
being here.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
All right. All right, y'all. This is Urban Expressions Newsmag. It is available. UrbanExpressions.com. Go to the Newsmag section and you can get a copy of the Urban Expressions Newsmag. Please support those that supported the Urban Expressions Newsmag. There are advertisers in there. There's sponsors in there. There's people with some great information. When you read it, listen. Don't let reading. We went to school to read, so make sure you read it. You will get something out of it. Everyone has dropped some knowledge, some education, whether it's relationship information, whether it's real estate information, whether it's hair information, health information. Urban Expressions News Mag, available at urbanexpressions.com. All right. The next edition is coming out, and if you want to advertise, please make sure you DM me. If you want to advertise and get a story in the News Mag, please DM me right now. The next we are everything is due by April 30th. So if you want in, DM me right now to be a part of Urban Expressions Newsmag. Thank you to every single person who has advertised from Josephine Sincere. It's the new album. Her album is out. Why am I not holding it up? Urban Expressions Newsmag. I don't know what I was thinking of. Urban Expressions Newsmag. It's official. This is Freeway. This is Jay-Z. We have Freeway's 20th anniversary. Then here is Jay-Z. We reminisce on some of the times we spent with Jay-Z. Here's, of course, Dr. DeShonda Williams. Dr. DeShonda Williams is running for city council at large. Dr. DeShonda Williams, she is in the front cover. Williams. Dr. DeShonda Williams, make sure you vote for Dr. DeShonda Williams. Of course, we have the letter from the publisher, which is me. And we have Charlie Mack's 50th anniversary of hip hop. That is going on June 17th. Check that out. That's that. And of course, we were just talking to Stacie, and here's Stacie right here. Here's Stacie right here. The Baltimore store of Maryland, you see it. These stories are amazing. Here's the Kingfish, all the cast of the Kingfish. Here is, of course, Naturally Neat. If you're looking for someone to clean, here's Naturally Neat. And the Play Conference, we'll talk to him. Here's Stacie's story right here. Hers is From Fear to Freedom, how Stacie Teal-Locust empowers first-time home buyers to take the leap. Make sure you read that. What else is it? Freeways, and here's Reminiscence from Jay-Z. What else is in it? This is just one power-packed news mag. You have A.B. Bracewell. A.B. Bracewell has the book. A.B. Bracewell. He has the book, The Miseducation of the Black Man, the sexual miseducation of the black men in America. His book is available right now. A.B. Bracewell, boom, boom. Make sure you go to Urban Expressions. Urban Expressions is spelled with an X, of course, Urban Expressions. And of course, Gods or Guns. Gods or Guns got a full page right here. Gods or Guns. It is a clothing line with a powerful message, and the message is it's a controversial name for a clothing brand that's taking the nation by storm. That's Gods or Guns. And we have James Williams. James Williams. He is running for city council in the 9th district. James Williams. He's also the team that helped me put the Urban Expressions together. We have legacy artists to watch, Carla Gamble, and we have Sheena, Lotus Beauty Spa, talking about healthy hair from the inside out, and that really was, and she also did my hair. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There's so many things. You have Nathaniel Lee. He has Metamorphosis, I Am We, and my sister right here has Self-Affirmations. That's Monty on the Scene. That's Nathaniel Lee. Metamorphosis and Self-Affirmations. So you will be fed. And you have my mother, my mommy. My mommy did one too. My mommy does a prayer. My mom, we have to make sure we put God in everything we do. So my mommy has my mama has one in here. That's my mama. That's my mama right there. And that is One and God Make a Majority. One and God Make a Majority. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Frederick Douglass. There you go. Check it out. There's a prayer. VTV Network inks a deal. That's a new network in out of Atlanta. So it's power packed. This news mag has everything. You have Lisa Media. She has an article on hair and beauty as well. I don't know where that slang came from, but what else is in here? What else? Oh man, this right here, near and dear to me. Novi Johnson. April is her birthday month, and I wanted to make sure that we celebrated Novi Johnson. Novi Johnson suddenly passed away a year ago, and I wanted to do a tribute to her. There you go, Novi Johnson right there. Rest in peace, my sister, Novi Johnson. Woo, that's hitting me right now. Oh man. Woo, tried to keep going on. I'm trying to keep going on. But my thing is, pay homage to people, give them their flowers while they're here. She definitely was a great friend. And Yvette Young is running for city council in the 9th district. So she has a full page. Yvette Young, city council in the 9th district. So James and Yvette Young are running for the same position, but even in the same paper, we celebrate whomever your choice is. It is your choice. Yvette Young is running for city council in 9th district. James Williams is running for city council in the 9th district, but both supported the Urban Expressions news mag. And Urban Expressions is here, I believe, in telling the stories of our people to keep it going. So grateful to everyone who supports. I mean, there's people out there every day, distributing the newspapers, going all over. Shout out to all the places that have taken the news mag. I mean, really, I go to the same gas station all the time, and you know, they're not necessarily our same race, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the point is, I go to the same gas station, and when I miss a week, he says, "Oh, where have you been?" You know, when you can go to a gas station and your gas station owner says, "Where have you been?" And I was like, "Man, I didn't get gas. I didn't happen to get gas the week before because I didn't drive as much." But and then actually he took the papers, put them in the he took the papers, put them in there, and was excited to put them in there. That meant a lot to me. So urbanexpressions.com, urbanexpressions.com. Urban Expressions is spelled with an X. Xpressions, expressions, Urban Expressions. Put your X's up. Boop, boop, boop. Put your X's up. Thank you so much to everybody. Woo, woo, woo. Enjoy your day. And for our next, we're gonna have someone else. We're gonna make the pages come alive. So we're gonna put them in the paper, and we're also gonna interview them. So who's up? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Have an amazing day, y'all. Urban Expressions News Mag. Go to urbanexpressions.com. Become a member. It's a membership site as well. Our goal is, and it's all tax deductible. Whether you advertise, you can write it off. Whether you become a member, you can write it off. And the thing is, to keep everything going, you know, it costs money. So become a member. It's $48 a year. That ain't nothing. You spend that in one meal. So $48, I would appreciate it. Everybody, tell your friend to tell a friend to buy a membership for $48. Go to urbanexpressions.com, buy a membership, be a member. There's going to be some exclusive reminiscent videos on there as much as we can get them on there. So thank y'all so much. I will see you again. And for those who are on the prayer network, tomorrow morning, 8:01 is 30 days of prayer, day 48 tomorrow. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Peace out, y'all. Have a good day.